watching Byline on CBS 10 WILM. Here's your host, Don Ansell.
Two new members are on Wilmington City Council, Kevin O'Grady and Charlie Rivenbark, and both councilmen are joining us for this edition of Byline. Councilman O'Grady, let's just focus for a moment. You chaired the Nightlife Task Force to help address some of the concerns about crime and safety and other issues in the downtown district, which mostly centers around bar activity like after midnight.
Yes.
First of all, are there too many bars downtown?
Well, yeah, I think that was ultimately the conclusion from that task force, is that we needed to have a capacity limit. And I don't think it takes much beyond basic economics to know if you have too much supply, you're not going to be able to get the quality you want out.
Do you agree?
I don't want to discourage an entrepreneur or somebody from coming into downtown Wilmington if they think they have a great idea. You know, we certainly don't want to discourage them, but you know, the problem goes beyond somebody's desire. We have, I think the way that the ABC permits are issued certainly has a great bearing on how many you're going to have, and the city has very little control over that.
And the ABC board doesn't seem interested or able, because of state law, one or the other, or both, to limit the number of alcohol permits it grants.
Well, there are other ways that they could help us other than just limiting the permits, and that would be to grant or to give up or to give our Wilmington policemen the right to go in and police these clubs while they're open. And as it is right now with a private club, we don't have that right.
Yeah. I want to talk about the permits because I'm not sure that your statement is correct.
Okay.
The city has a right to make recommendations. It has always had that right. It's right on the permit. I don't think the city's been forceful enough because it doesn't have a policy. It doesn't say, this is as many bars as we can have in this limited area. And clearly within the ABC statutes, they asked the city to have an opinion on that. We need to create one. And then we need to assert that to ABC. And then we have to see how they respond to it. And I'm encouraged because we have just gone through a process with a convenience store over on 6th and Chestnut where the neighborhood opposed it. The permit was denied. And ABC did go to bat to fight that one for the neighborhood. So I think it's possible that they will stand behind it.
The city doesn't have a policy.
Yes.
You can now make policy,
Mm-hmm.
or if you can get majority of council to agree.
Yes, sir. That would be a hard one for somebody to be against.
Yeah. So
yeah, we had a proposal in the task force report. It probably needs some refinement. I mean,
will you present it to council?
I think it's on its way.
Yeah.
The staff, as I understand it, and of course I'm just new on this, but as I understand it, the staff is working on the actual presentation of how the task force recommendations would be implemented.
The downtown district has been labeled as something of a split personality, with one personality until about 10 o'clock at night, and then from 10 until 3 it has a whole nother ambiance about it. First of all, is that true?
I think it is.
I'd have to agree with that.
Is it a good thing?
Well, I don't think it's bad that it has a different personality at different times. I mean, that recent thing done in the Star News was an excellent day in the life of downtown, and it showed. You know, you got farmers market in the morning and shopping in midday, diners at the early evening, and then it gets a little crazy after midnight. And that's really the focus of that whole Nightlife Task Force is what happens after midnight and how do we get control over that? And the city needs to get control over it.
One of the things that I'm concerned with is that sometime within the next year to 18 months, we're going to have a convention center and it's going to do business. And you're going to have conventioneers that are just like Charlie Rivenbark after the day's business is done. I like to get out and go see what the town's all about. And I would...
the image the town's going to present.
Exactly, because those folks will take that image back to where they came from. And the old adage that a dissatisfied customer tells everybody he sees.
Yep.
So...
Charlie, that was the first thing I said when we started the task force. We got 14 months. We're going to have a convention center. We better be ready for it. And that's exactly what we're dealing with.
Let's talk about the streetscape project. It's also known as the Front Street Project, where some very basic things are going to be done. New sewer put in. The street will be close to a vehicular traffic for a while. It's going on between Front and Market and Chestnut.
That's correct.
What are the challenges there, and what do you as council members say to the businesses there?
Well, I would say that there's never a good time to disrupt traffic in front of your business. I think the council did a remarkable job when they opened the street back up to two-way traffic. The four-way stop signs were poo-pod, but they've worked. I'm up and down Front Street a lot. They have actually worked very well. I like
them too, I have to say.
And I can just say that once it's done, it's going to just be absolutely gorgeous. And I wish we could do the entire Front Street all at one time, but it's not good for them. But I think the city will go to great lengths to facilitate people getting parked in the deck and getting pedestrian traffic over on the streets that are being torn up.
Yeah, there's been a lot of trepidation. The businesses are very worried about it. And they're going over every detail. And the fact is, you got to break the eggs if you want the omelet. And this is unfortunate. You just got to do it. And it's going to start. It's not far away.
Recently, two boards, the Wilmington Housing Authority and the Cape Fear Public Utility Authority, who are both connected to the city, gave some hefty salary increases, and in one case, a bonus to their respective CEOs. And both were criticized for that at a time when the rest of the community, including the city, is experiencing economic hard times. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm disappointed. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if they had not gotten those raises, it wouldn't have put more money into our coffers. It wouldn't have affected our taxes. It's a bad image right now, when everything else is being cut, is to be giving fairly hefty raises. And then, of course, you forgot the third one, the ABC board, which is another one.
That I'm going to attack next week. Okay. Our guest will be Wilmington, the new chair of the New Hanover County Commission, Jason Thompson, because the county appoints the local board. So we'll attack that next week. I wanted to limit it. What is your take on that?
Well, you know, not being privy to what the board's thinking was, I don't presume to second guess them. But the PR of it is just bad timing.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, I'm going to assume for a minute they deserved.
They got a 16% raise.
I'm going to assume for a minute they deserved every penny of it. This wasn't the year to get it.
We're out of time. Okay. Councilman O'Grady, Councilman Rivenbark, thank you for joining us. Next week, as I mentioned, Jason Thompson, for the first time in almost 20 years, a new face chairs New Hanover County Commission. We'll talk to Jason. If you'd like to see Byline online, go to WILM-TV.com. I'm Don Ansel, and we'll see you next week.
You've been watching Byline Wilmington on CBS 10 WILM. Join us every Sunday morning at 11 as we explore the issues that concern you.